Hey everybody, this is part 1 of me breaking down the character designs of the Mortal Kombat 1's roster. Before I begin, shout out to Elms Glue for being the first one to comment what the Easter egg was in my last video's thumbnail. There's also an Easter egg in this video's thumbnail. Be the first to comment what it is and I'll be sure to shout you out in the next video. Alright, enough of that, let's break down some character designs, starting with
Liu Kang.
Fire God Liu Kang is a godly version of the Bruce Lee inspired character. However, this character has undergone much character development, making him more of his own character, not just an homage, going from Earthworld's champion to its godly protector. Yet, this design has elements of both, with Liu sporting his original red and black pants and wearing clothing that lacks an ascendant or otherworldly aesthetic. The godly aspects of his design are found in his glowing eyes, dragon tattoos, and gold elements. In addition, the white he wears conveys Liu's pure nature, the righteousness, the good in him. The white could also be a reference to Raiden, the former godly protector of Earthrealm, since him and Raiden had pretty much switched roles. They could have just left him with a white top and his classic pants, but instead the team gave him style, with his hair, patterns, and subtle elements. The longer you look at the design, the busier it can appear. However, I still find this design to be one of the best in all of MK1.
Kang wins. Kung Lao.
The confident and thrill-seeking Kung Lao wears a subtle design, with his hat being the biggest indicator of his personality. This design is an updated version of his classic look, keeping the same vibe with his sleeveless top and staple hat. His hat, however, has a lot going on, making it the most detailed part of Kung Lao's attire. There's a good use of brown in this design that makes sense with the textures. The dragon symbols on his chest and back add a nice touch. At first glance, he might appear boring, but there's layers to this design after giving a deeper look. Overall, I don't hate this design and find it to be fitting of villager Kung Lao in this new timeline.
Kung Lao wins. Raiden.
The now mortal champion of Earthrealm, Raiden wears a simple aesthetic mirroring both his village friend Kung Lao and his former iterations. Raiden still wears his iconic white and blue, which the two colors work really well together, reflecting Raiden's personality and values. There's a bit of a turquoise found near his shins and chest, something that can be easily missed. Despite having a Chinese aesthetic like Kung Lao and Liu Kang, his attire has a different texture, one that's more prominent in its design. The medallion in the sash is a nice touch, along with the gold symbol on his shoulder. Despite no longer having glowing white eyes, we get a glimpse of his classic design choice when he taps into his electric abilities. When I first saw this design of Raiden, I thought it was quite interesting, being able to see his pupils, and he looks oriental. He doesn't look like a white older man like he has in past games. Overall, this mortal Raiden attire sticks the landing.
Raiden wins. Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage rocks a simple attire, an attire that alludes towards his financial status and Johnny's sense of style, matching his belt with his high-end watch. He wears low saturated colors with a cooler tone upper half and a warmer tone lower half. The browns, along with some age indicators around Johnny's eyes, hint at his point in his career and sense of maturity. Maturity isn't the word that immediately comes to mind when you think of Johnny Cage, but this Johnny doesn't sing a youthful song of ignorance or arrogance like his past iteration. However, Johnny's huge personality is still present in his body language and dialogue, and on his ring and glasses. The graphics for this game make even this subtle design look great. The textures, the lighting, and colors. Johnny has the most normal looking outfit compared to the rest of the roster, but it makes perfect sense for his character and story. His hairstyle, facial features, and build stay true to the visual cues of a man that started as a Van Damme clone, but over the years has become his own shades-wearing iconic character.
Bring it!
Johnny Cage wins. Scorpion.
The first ever quietly yanked Scorpion sports a way more subtle attire than Hanzo Hasashi, continuing the trend of being a modernized version of a classic design. Carrying over from MK11, the red is a nice touch that elevates this warm colored outfit, which in my opinion is needed. From the front, Scorpion appears to be plain, but from the back there's more personality. His weapons are another element that carries over from MK11, adding to Scorpion's design and emphasizing he's a ninja. The mask design is an odd choice with its curved lines and being gold, a color that isn't scattered well throughout the outfit unlike Sub-Zero Silver. From far away, the tattoo is plain and kind of cheesy in comparison to other tattoos in the game, but when you get up close, you see that it looks like it was painted with a paintbrush, which is pretty neat. Scorpion rocks the higher bun in contrast with his counterpart slash brother Bihan Sub-Zero. Aside from the hairstyle and similar outfits, you can tell these two are related. In the very first trailer for MK1, I was wondering why do they look so similar, but then after hearing Ed Boon say that they are brothers, it makes a lot of sense. Overall, this personalized outfit of the Lin Kuei uniform has grown on me over time, despite missing the mark ever so slightly. MK11's design was so peak, so it's kinda hard to digest this iteration of Scorpion. Okay, spoilers incoming. 3, 2, 1. The scar that Kuai Liang gets later on in the story is iconic for that character specifically, not Scorpion, but for Kuai Liang, and I think it adds so much to his design. I'm still waiting for them to add that as an in-game gear.
Scorpion wins. Sub-Zero.
The OG Sub-Zero makes his return, sporting the best design of the Lin Kuei ninjas in this timeline. The blue pops, but doesn't contradict Bihan's personality. The blue does not only reflect Bihan's cold demeanor, but his cryomancy as well. I love the silver accents, providing a nice touch, especially with the intentional cloud/wave design on his belt and forearms. The angular elements emphasize Sub-Zero's villainy, a classic character design choice. And the rope medallion around his biceps and triceps makes his design even more detailed than Scorpion's and Smoke's. He definitely stands out as the grand master of the Lin Kuei while remaining practical and subtle as the assassin he is.
Sub-Zero wins. Smoke.
The most ninja looking of the three Lin Kuei with his grayish monochromatic color scheme. Smoke continues to don his silver hair in this timeline, but now has a subtle scar across his face. Along with the scar, the gloves and unique mask add to the basic design. The mask shape takes elements from a typical gas mask, which makes sense for the character. Smoke carries with him a karambit knife that in story notes is expressed to be his mother's hunting knife, so this blade is not only an indicator of Smoke's fighting style, but his backstory as well. Smoke also has an armband not as complex as Sub-Zero's, but it adds to the outfit. His outfit is more padded with the gloves and elbow pads looking more modern than Scorpion and Sub-Zero's. This could be a subtle nod to Smoke's age. This, along with other elements in his overall design, hints at the fact that he isn't blood related to the Lin Kuei brothers, Bihan and Kuai Liang, which plays an important role in the ninjas' story arcs.
Smoke wins. Reptile.
This human iteration of Reptile has such an intentional design, from the earthy green tones to the scaled armor. You can tell this character is connected to the cold-blooded creatures in some way, and yet Reptile's eyes whisper behind his mask good intentions. This works well with his build, not coming off as intimidating, but relatable and likable. Syzoth's attire is rich with patterns and a foreign aesthetic. The sash is a great visual design choice as it helps our eyes with the transition of Reptile's human and lizard form. Reptile has other intentional elements such as his distinct tribal tattoos, footwear, and keys on his waist that hint at an important part of his story. Not to mention his hood and mask, which is not only because Reptile is the green ninja of Mortal Kombat, but because it reflects Reptile's need to hide from others whether he's in human form or invisible. There's no arguing that Reptile has a top tier design in MK1. And that's part 1 of me going in depth discussing the character designs of Mortal Kombat 1's roster. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please leave a like and subscribe as it helps a ton. Before you go, what is your favorite design? Be sure to share it in the comments down below. As for now, take it easy and Godspeed.